times of the COVID-19 pandemic. So during that period, I think all of us are aware that so many activities were shut down, and people still needed to do one form of business or the other. And I think poultry production was one of those things that could be done even behind people's backyards. So following the pandemic, we've actually seen an increase in the number of people doing poultry production. Now, there are various reasons for venturing into poultry production. A few people do it as a hobby, but the majority of farmers that venture into poultry production in it for profit, because one of the meat types that is actually on high demand is chicken meat. But there are some people who are also into poultry production for the eggs. So those are the people into commercial rearing of layers, as well as those who are getting improved chickens for egg. Others do combine multi-purpose of meat and eggs. So they are in whichever poultry enterprise that you are in, there are certain basic things that need to be done. And for chickens, just like other animals, they suffer from diseases. These could be viral in nature, bacterial, fungal, and some diseases are just as a result of nutritional disturbances. Okay, so the hallmark of success in every farming enterprise for poultry is what is called preventive medicine. So this ensures that disease is prevented, because treatment of disease is expensive. Some of the losses that a farmer would encounter are losses due to decreased production because of disease. You could also have losses through mortalities, chickens dying as a result of disease. But also it's very costly to treat some of these diseases. So you want to practice preventive medicine in poultry. It's one of the things that has practically seen to show very good result in terms of minimizing on losses in production. So one of the things that, as a poultry farmer, one of the things that you want to critically look into is the issue of preventive medicine. And in poultry, we do this through following a strict biosecurity program. And by biosecurity, what I mean is that you need to put in measures, whether they be physical or chemical, but these measures should ensure that you stop or minimize disease-causing agents from coming into your poultry. So you can do this through controlling the traffic into and out of your poultry premises. So by controlling the traffic, what you'd be essentially doing is ensuring that people that may be vehicles of these disease-causing microorganisms are screened so that they don't bring in these infectious diseases into your poultry premises. So by screening people, you'll be essentially preventing some of the would-be disease-causing agents from entering the poultry. So another way that, another thing that you can do to ensure this biosecurity is by constructing your poultry houses in a way that limits introduction of these pathogens or disease-causing agents into your poultry houses. So it is very obvious that if your housing, your poultry housing facilities are made in such a way that they have walls, that in itself prevents some of these agents that can be blown off by the wind into your poultry houses from entering therein. So by constructing your poultry house, these are called physical barriers in such a way that you have walls and that demarcates your poultry house from the outside environment that you have not so much control over. Then you would be preventing some of these disease-causing microorganisms. But also you can put up deliberate measures like foot dips. So foot dips basically disinfects any person coming into your poultry, or yes, so it will disinfect it to ensure that those people that are coming into your poultry have disinfected their hands, they have disinfected their shoes. So you can do this through foot dips, but as well as you can use fumigation. There are electro-fog sprayers that you can use to fumigate your poultry with a disinfectant. And there are quite a number of disinfectants that you can use. At Farmers Africa, we have a potent disinfectant that we call Virid. So this can be used both to spray individuals and vehicles that are coming into your poultry premises, and also to disinfect the house where you have your chickens. So this is a very important aspect in terms of preventive medicine that I talked about earlier in broiler production. So to recap, we want to practice preventive medicine, and the reason why we're doing that is to reduce, stop the disease-causing agents from coming into your poultry. Another thing as a poultry farmer that you would want to look into is the issue of nutrition. If you are into broiler production, you agree with me that broiler chickens are reared over a very short period of time. So at most by 6 weeks, your chickens should be ready for market. And that means that of course it may not be, there's genetic changes, of course. Those chickens are modified to grow over a very short period of time. But that also just shows how important nutrition is for these animals. So under nutrition, you'd have to ensure that your chickens, for starters, have a very healthy gut. So chickens naturally have a very short digestive system. So what that means is that their feed will pass through their digestive tract in a very short period of time. So that means if the food is not properly digested, most of the feed that the chicken will eat will just be passed off as poop. And feed is actually one of the most expensive aspects of this poultry production. So you want to ensure that within that short gut, your chicken maximizes on the absorption of each and every nutrient that it's able to derive from the feed that you are giving your chickens. So that means if you have conditions that do not favor optimal gut health, you are likely to experience huge losses in terms of loss in weight gain. Okay, so you want to ensure that your chickens first are fed on quality feed. I know there's a popular perception, which may be true in some ways, of course, that feed formulation, if you're formulating your own feed, it becomes cheaper. That is true in so many ways, because if you do a proper job in formulating your own feed, you definitely cut off huge costs in terms of feed. However, if you get it wrong, you actually pay an even bigger price, because then your chickens will lose out on the weight gain, but also they might have diseases that will come from deficiencies as a result of not being given quality feed. So whether you decide to use commercially produced feed or formulate your own feed, you need to ensure that whatever is being passed out ultimately to your chickens is only high quality feed, which should also be well balanced, so that all the important nutrients are present in your feed. Okay, so some people may decide to aid this gut health through the use of probiotics. Probiotics and prebiotics basically just help to improve the feed conversion rate. So, because ultimately, weight gain is a function of how much feed is converted into body mass. So, most of these probiotics and prebiotics will help to improve. So, your chicken should eat less feed per unit weight gain. So, that's what you want. You want your chickens to eat a small amount of feed and produce very good weight. So like I said earlier, because a lot of people come to me sometimes asking if they can give these boosters or what's the best booster and all those things, and some actually think it's a booster that will actually make their chickens grow bigger muscles and all. But it's all a constellation of good gut management practices. You may decide to use, personally I think providing things like multi-enzymes and probiotics actually, they give very good results, because when you give these enzymes, because of the short gut, these enzymes are like extra teeth, so they will help your chicken digest more feed within that short period of time. And if the absorption is good, then your chicken will maximize on the amount of feed that